What's good, Wizards fans? It's your host, the real Ed Oliver and Brandon Scott, and we are going to recap the Washington Wizards' losses over the weekend to the Spurs and also to the Nuggets. Let's get to it.
You are Locked On Wizards, your daily Washington Wizards podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Just want to thank you guys for making Locked On Wizards your first listen every day. We are free and available wherever you get podcasts. Today's episode is brought to you by LinkedIn. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the qualified candidates you want to talk to faster. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedonnba. That's linkedin.com/lockedonnba to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. All right, so we're going to start off with the Spurs game, and then after we recap the Spurs game, we're going to recap the Nuggets game, and then we're going to get to comments at the end of this show. All right, so Brandon, you were there in person. You got to see the unicorn or the giraffe and Victor Wembanyama in person. So I know that was definitely a cool experience for sure. Just seeing Bilal and Victor being old teammates as well going at it. What were your thoughts, and what was the reason for the Wizards' loss as they were winning in the fourth quarter? But what went wrong for the Wizards in that game?
First of all, man, Wembanyama's a homie's big, man. I mean, dude was catching alley-oops and wasn't even barely like leaving the floor, man. It was pretty cool seeing him. Seeing Tyus Jones's brother, Trey Jones, won the San Antonio Spurs, so that was pretty cool. Looking at the game, if you look at the team statistics, man, very even game. And obviously it's two lottery teams playing each other, but very even game. But like you said, another game where we had the lead going into the fourth quarter and we give it up. And if you look at the end, I don't know if plays are being drawn, but the sequence that went through with Cruz, I don't understand it, man. Like, it doesn't seem like there's any plays being called. And the end, I think that if we drew up some plays, maybe we had a chance, but it's just I can't pinpoint why we keep giving them leads, man. It seems to be a thing we just do. I think it has. I would say honestly is a lack of adjustments, and that's been an issue we've had underneath the Western Sale Jr. era, man. The lack of adjustments at the halftime, and that continues to be an issue. The lineups, man. I think there's time to kind of tinker with the starting lineup a little bit. I know a lot of people were wondering about Bagley, whether he was going to start. Gap being out. Obviously we could talk about that because that was a Nuggets game. But I would say, man, honestly, if I could pinpoint one thing, is the lack of adjustments. No adjustments at the halftime. In crunch time, it seems like nobody really has an idea what's going on. Like, there was no play. Like, it seemed like, all right, for example, you got 22 seconds left and you're trying to score that quick. No, what you try to do is you want to waste time because your worst case scenario in that scenario is go to overtime. So you want to tie, but so early in the shot clock and let them go down the court and then kind of finishes off. And I know that he had that 3-point shot, which was a contested shot, but to me, that was the pivotal moment, which was he should have bled the clock a little bit and then try to go in there and get fouled and try to get to the free throw line and go from there, which to me, the worst case scenario is overtime. And then you still in it to win it, right? But again, another lead given up. Looking at the individual statistics, overall, I mean, I'll say this, man. It was a really good game. It just crunch time didn't make sense, and that's where we lost the game. Because if you look at the starting five, Tyus Jones, 11 points, 8 rebounds, 12 assists. Tyus Jones was doing his thing. I don't know if it was sibling rivalry, but he was definitely playing good ball against the Spurs, man. Oh, no, Lord. Oh, you're going to be mad at me, y'all. I was reading Trey Jones. Stat line. Okay, let's get into Tyus. 13 points, 2 rebounds, 6 assists. So still, he played well playing against his brother, man. Looking at Jordan Poole, 16 points, 7-15 from the field, but 0 for 3 from 3. 12 steals. Oh, Lord. 2 steals, 1 block. So he was very active on the defensive end. Not a stopper, but he's definitely very active. Denny, 16 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 7-11 from the field. With a steal. Had a really good game, very active defensively. And I looked at him play defense, and he was on Wemby a lot. And I felt like he really played good defense against Wemby, man. And usually, Denny, if you notice, a lot of these games, man, Denny is the guy they put on the best guy on the other team. That says a lot. Is he, I know they switch between Denny and Bilal being that defensive guy, but I felt like he played well against a guy who is so much taller than he is. Kuzma, 11 points, but 12 rebounds, 6 assists, 5 for 14. So the shot was not dropping, but he got involved in other ways. 12 rebounds was key and 6 assists. And then Marvin Bagley, D30, he continues to play good basketball in DC, man. Looking at his stat line, 21 points, 12 rebounds, 2 assists. Now, he shot a lot of shots. I mean, 8 for 19, but a lot of those shots were in the paint. A lot of them were just barely rolled out. He was definitely very active in the paint offensively. And then looking at the bench, Corey Kispert and Bilal, in my opinion, they shine off the bench. And they were a big reason why they kept us in this game, because looking at their stat line, Corey Kispert, 16 points, 1 for 6 from 3, but he was very active at the free throw line, 7 for 7 at the free throw line, and a steal. And Bilal Coulibaly playing his former teammate. They exchanged jerseys after the game, childhood friends. He had a block on him. It was a present block, but it's a block. We'll take that. But Bilal definitely showed up, man. 14 points and 4 rebounds. So it was a close game. E. I definitely felt like we were in a position to win, but it's just another game where we give up the lead, and the lack of adjustments and the lack is killing us, man. It is killing us, because you, as a head coach, and to a certain point, players, you have to make adjustments on the fly. You have to make adjustments, man. And I even asked Wes at the end of the game. I said, Coach, the defense has been an issue all year long. Is it an effort thing? Is it a personnel thing? And can it be fixed? And he said he believes it can be fixed, but I don't see how, because the effort, man. There's no, defensively on the perimeter, we mentioned it before, Devin Vassell cooked us. From 3-point, we got cooked. Look at Devin Vassell, 4 for 6. Champagne, man, 3 for 6. Wembanyama, 2 for 5. Our lack of aggression in defending the perimeter is killing this team, because it's hard to watch. There's nobody closing out. The rotations are slow, and teams are literally sitting back there and taking the time shooting a jump shot. So I would say that the lack of adjustments and the fact that on the perimeter defense, defense overall, but perimeter wise, man, we are hard to watch. So that's what I'm rolling with.
Yeah, that, and those are some good questions. You got that insight, since you have insight now, being able to talk to Wes and the guys. I know you got to talk to Bagley as well, which is pretty cool. You were there in person, but yeah, the adjustments. They were up by 10 in the fourth quarter. They were up by 12 at one point. They had a good run.
Yeah,
with Kispert, DeLong Wright. Bilal had a nice putback. He had a couple dunks. He had a couple nice finishes, fast break finishes, Euro steps. He was playing well. And then Kuzma, once again, man, just unfortunately where some of his decision making and just shot selection down the stretch. There was 9 seconds left where he didn't have to really. We were down by 3. Of course, you wanted to shoot a 3, but it's kind of like once again where Jordan Poole took that quick 3 where. Yeah. Now Kuzma takes another quick 3, a pull-up 3, a contested 3 where Sohan was in his face.
Yeah.
And it's like, we definitely could have got a better shot than that. I don't know if that's what Wes drew up. It's like, hey, Kuzma go out there and just go one-on-one and shoot a 3. But this is like the 3rd or 4th time that Kuzma's done it this season, and early in the shot clock, and has missed the shot badly. Kuzma fouled Sohan down the stretch too, which was a bad foul. He airballed a floater putback on Victor Wembanyama. Victor, and Kuzma's just struggled as of late, man. 5 for 14 in that game, 0 for 4. He's not the only reason why we lost, but he rebounded the ball well, 11 points, 12 rebounds. But shot selection for him, he's just been struggling with that as of lately, and ever since, a lot of the rumors have been coming out, and there's always been rumors, but he's really been up and down and very inconsistent as of late. Didn't have a good game today, really either. We'll talk about that later, but. Just down the stretch, he didn't help us at all. Bagley played well, 21 points, 12 boards. But yeah, the main reason why we lost that game was just shot selection down the stretch. I thought overall, as a team, I thought they played good basketball. I thought Denny stepped up, had some good moments, some good defensive moments. 16.7 boards. And then, of course, Victor woke up down the stretch. He had 24 points and 8 rebounds, 10 for 21 from the field, 2 for 5 from the three-point line. But, down the stretch, they let Vassell get to the basket, Sohan get to the basket, and Victor had a couple buckets down the stretch, too, where they just couldn't get stops. Defensively, it was bad for both teams. We gave them 131. They gave them 127. So it's not like, any team was really playing defense the whole game. But, just once again, just the executions down the stretch in the clutch really hurt the Wizards. But Overall, man, I thought Bagley played well. Denny had a good game. Tyus Jones, you brought up him earlier, 6 assists, 13 points. I thought he was fine. There's a lot of rumors and reports about him getting traded pretty soon, which is, his value is going up, which is good. And Jordan Poole, I thought he was okay. He didn't hurt us.
Yeah.
His shot selection was better.
Yeah.
Decision making was a little bit better from him. So I had no problems with his game against the Spurs. He only had one turnover, so I really didn't have a problem from Jordan Poole. And then Baldwin hit a couple threes. I like the way that he played. I thought he came in and played pretty well for the most part. And Shamet had a couple good shots as well. Corey really, he had a good game. He turned up in that fourth quarter for sure. 7 for 7 from the free throw line. So overall, I thought the team played well. It's just that last 2 minutes of the game where they really just shot themselves in the foot.
Yeah, I think the question is, man, who sucker punched Patrick Baldwin Jr., man? He's
he's got that mark on his face, yeah. But I mean, Johnny Davis is back in the G League too.
Oh Lord, we're gonna stay on topic.
Right.
I mean, yeah, I'm with you. E. The lack of adjustments, man, continue to haunt this team. You have to make adjustments on the fly, man. You have to make adjustments on the fly. And this is the first time in a while that I've seen a team, not just in the Wizards, but the NBA, where you're completely lost in the crunch moments. Like, you don't draw like a play up. It just seems like he brought the ball up and then tried to force a shot. And I felt like with 22 seconds left, man, you drain the clock because you try to, get a foul and get to the foul line, man. But you don't, with 22 seconds left, you got time. I don't know why, and that's been a problem all year long, not utilizing the shot clock. You see it all the time. They'll get a shot off within the first 3 seconds. It's like, what are we doing? You've got to utilize the shot clock. There's a reason why they got a shot clock. I mean, you got to run a play. You got to let the play unwind instead of just letting the ball off 3 seconds. And then it's just, but here's the thing, man. It's the same issues every daggone game, man. I mean, bad shot selection, not utilizing the shot clock. The defense is abysmal. And what part of defense? All the defense. We can't defend the perimeter, the interior. We're terrible on closing out. We can't rotate. We can't. They get us in transition. I mean, I don't get it, man. I mean, they might as well get G Wiz in there and see what he can do. I mean, the defense is that bad, and it's just the same issues. Rebounding, and we actually did good rebounding, and we did better than I thought we would do against Wembanyama because I mean, I'm saying this guy's big, but I mean, here's the thing. I mean, and like I said, Denny, I felt like he did well defending Wembanyama considering the height disadvantage, but I mean, the issues aren't being fixed. And this is what we're going to say every game the rest of the year, or at least to the deadline, is that the rebounding, if it's not rebounding, it's defense. It's not defense, it's effort. If it's not effort, it's something. I mean, you can't force these guys to care. You got to care. I mean, this is a winnable game, but then, okay, let's flip the perspective. We just lost to the Pistons and the Spurs in the span of a week. And I mean, if that don't wake you up, I don't know what. I mean, is there any pride? I mean, I get a rebuild, man, but really, you trying really hard for that lottery pick. If you just go ahead and lost to the Pistons, I mean, because not only did we lose to them, the Pistons just how do you defeat the Wizards? Ball movement. That's it. What did the Pistons do and the Spurs do? Ball movement. And if you look at the ball movement, man, they hit that ball move was on key, and they were catching Vassell every time after the third touch, and he was cooking them on the perimeter. So, yeah, man. I mean, I'm gonna say it and I'm gonna say it again, man. Different game, same script. So let's see. But before we move on, man, so we'll go ahead and get to the Nuggets recap, E. But before we do, tonight's episode is brought to you by LinkedIn.
Yes, sir. Today's episode is brought to you by LinkedIn. At the start of the new year, every small business owner is asking themselves the same question. What's the one move I can make that'll take my business to the next level in 2024? LinkedIn Jobs knows that your success all depends on the team you surround yourself with. That's why LinkedIn Jobs has created the tools to help find the right professionals for your team faster and for free. LinkedIn isn't just another job board. LinkedIn has a vast network of more than 1 billion professionals, which makes it the best place to hire. Hiring is easy when you have that many quality candidates. So easy, in fact, that 86% of small businesses get a qualified candidate within 24 hours. LinkedIn also knows that small businesses are wearing so many hats and might not have the time or resources to hire. Thankfully, with LinkedIn, the process is intuitive, quick, and easy. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/LockedOnNBA. That's linkedin.com/LockedOnNBA to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. All right, so we're going to get into the recap of the game tonight against the Denver Nuggets. Nikola Jokic had a crazy performance. I mean, it's not crazy for him. This is like a normal day for him, but still 42 points is certainly inexcusable. 42 points, 12 rebounds, 8 assists. But, I mean, what were your thoughts from the game tonight, the loss to the night, 104-113?
You already know, E. Different game, same script. I mean, looking at the team numbers, man. Rebounding. Got rebounded again. 3-point percentage. They gave up 36%. We shot 29. Now free throws, they struggled on free throws and they still beat us by how much? I mean, it's just, honestly, man, I'm gonna put it down to this effort. I mean, and I'm about to get into the individual stats, man, but it's effort. I mean, two different performances, and another thing, effort and consistency. Against the Spurs, they look like a team that was trying to win until we hit that fourth quarter and just like it unwinded. But with this game, man, I mean, they did whatever they wanted. It looked like a shoot around. I mean, Denver did whatever they wanted. I mean, I'm looking at the stat line. The only quarter that we outscored in was the fourth quarter, by 2 points. So let's get into the individual statistics. And I mean, Tyus Jones, 15 points, 13 assists. Now I will say this: Tyus is playing hard to get up out of DC. I mean, he's playing well, man. And like I said, if this was not a rebuilding team, I would love him to be the point guard, to be totally honest with you, because he's that perfect floor general that he is looking to distribute. And I tell you that floater, man, he must practice that thing every day of the week because he is money with that floater. But he's been the perfect floor general this team needed, man. I mean, 13 assists is definitely what I'm looking for him to provide. Not on every night. I'm not expecting him every night 13, but definitely what do you want to see against a team like the Denver Nuggets? Jordan Poole, 1 for 7, 4 points. Very, very underwhelming. Denny Avdia, again, struggled also with his shot, 1 for 5. Kyle Kuzma led all Wizards scores, but was very underwhelming. I mean, he did shoot 7 for 14, so he shot 50%, 2 for 4 from 3. A couple of good, really nice wide open looks in the fourth quarter, 3-point wise. But I mean, Gafford coming back from concussion protocol, I felt like he played better, but defensively, I mean, I'm not gonna put this all on Gaff, man, because let's be real, Jokic, man, he's one of those guys in the league, and there's not many of them, but he's one of those guys in the league where you're not gonna stop him. All you can do is try to mitigate a little bit, man. But Jokic is Jokic, man. I mean, if you look at his footwork, even Chris Miller and Drew Gooden sitting on the broadcast, man. His footwork, I have not seen footwork that good since Hakeem Olajuwon. And to me, Hakeem Olajuwon has got the best footwork of any center I've ever seen. And Jokic is taking the realm from him, man. His footwork, that one move he got on Gaff, man. His footwork. All he did was use a pivot. And I mean, he's just, that guy is magic with footwork, man. But Gafford, 15.7 rebounds, 1 block, 2 steals. He offensively, he's got a little athleticism to him. You know, he had a couple of nice layups. He's definitely trying to be a lot more athletic. I don't know if he feels like Bagley's breathing on his neck a little bit, but he definitely showed a little bit of athleticism. But yeah, that's about it. I mean, defensively, you're not going to stop him. I'm looking at the second unit. Bagley, 17 minutes for 14.7 rebounds. I feel like he provided good minutes off the bench. Shamet, 16 minutes, 14 points, 4 for 10. Shamet is definitely another guy who's definitely boosting his trade value. And Kispert, 0 for 6 from 3. Now, he did shoot 4 for 4 from the free throw line, but overall 1 for 9 for the field, so not his best showing. And Bilal Coulibaly, yes, 9 points in 31 minutes, 4 for 9, but 4 blocks. This guy, I'm trying to tell you, this kid, man, can play some ball on the defensive end, man. I mean, he is a pest. And like I said, Spurs game, man, I asked him, man, and we were there with a lot of French reporters, so I don't know any French, man, but you seem to be happy. But I asked him, man, in English. I said, defensively, you're a pest, but offensively, what are your goals? And he said, man, catch and shoot. He wants to get faster because he notices that a lot of teams are watching him shoot. He wants to get a faster release. He wants to get better. And you see tonight, I believe at the end of the first half, he hit that 3-pointer. So his 3-point shot's coming along, man. And I'm telling you, when he figures it out, because he's starting to attack the basket now. Tonight, man, a lot of alley-oops. I'm telling you, he is nasty. And when he figures it out, this kid is going to be a star. I'm saying right now, because he is athletic. He attacks the rim. He just needs to figure out that 3-point shot. And I'm telling you, when he figures it out, watch out NBA, because we have definitely found a jewel in the rough with Bilal Coulibaly. So I'm not too down on his performance. I definitely think that he's going to get better as the season goes, especially after the deadline. He's going to get a lot of minutes. And I'm excited to see this team in the second half, because, see him and Denny in the same lineup, man, it's going to be a tough defensive lineup, man. So it's going to be interesting. But overall, Denver's Denver. They're a contender. They're playing around 2 different teams, big talent gap. Jokic. I mean, if you look at their entourage, man, Michael Porter Jr. very active. KCP, former Wizard, man. He was ice cold, and I mean ice cold in the good way, not cold, but I mean, he was all over the place. So Denver's just a really good team, and our true colors come out where our defense is bad, rebounding is abysmal, and they took advantage of it. They did their game plan. They really did. They scouted us, and they knew where to attack us, man. And Jokic, I'm trying to tell you, man, this guy is just unreal. I mean, it doesn't look like he ever lifts a weight, man. But I don't get it because dude's just, like I said, he is the perfect example of just using technicals to play basketball. Physically, he's not that more imposing anybody. But if you look at his footwork, man, it's beautiful to watch, man. It really is. I love the technical part of basketball, man, and his footwork. So overall, just a talent gap. They're just better than we were.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. I mean, I'll just piggyback off of what you said. I mean, the up and under move by by Jokic on Daniel Gafford, and it just got Gafford up in the air and hit the and one, and then Gafford tried to go back down on the other end and do the same move, and Jokic just took the ball from Gafford. Gafford played hard though. I mean, like you said, 15.7 boards, played with effort. He had a nice post move where he did a crossover move and did a hook shot on Jokic. So I did like that. Tyus Jones get his trade value up, or it may not go up any more than what it is right now.
Yeah.
But tomorrow we're going to talk about all the reports. The Sixers are interested. There's a couple teams interested in Tyus. The Wizards, of course, want a first round pick. But 15 points and 13 assists is definitely a good game where other teams can look at that and be like, hey, we can use this guy in the playoffs for sure. A playoff team's like, hey, we can use this guy as a backup or even as a starter in some games for sure. So I like what I saw from Tyus today. Kuzma, like I said, he's just been a little off ever since the Bagley trade, and some of the rumors have started to heat up. He's just been a little off. 17 points where, we're used to seeing Kuzma come in and drop 25, 30 points. He's kind of gone down just a little bit here as of late. And then Bagley, once again, I thought he played pretty well. 14 points, 7 boards, played with a lot of energy. Denny, 4 points tonight, only 18 minutes. Didn't play a lot, but had 8 rebounds. And like you said with Bilal, he had that nice 3 before halftime, that buzzer beater 3 where he did a pump fake, relaxed, waited, and then knocked it down.
Yeah.
So I really like that from Bilal. He's shown some flashes. He may not, 9 points, not a lot of points, but I thought he played pretty well. Energy, finishing around the rim, like you said, a lob threat, finishing a lob, finishing above the rim, the Euro step last game. He definitely needs more playing time, more opportunities, and more shots for sure. So I'm looking forward to that after the trade deadline when some of the veterans are moved. I want him to get some more. I want West to call some more plays for him and really get him involved in the offense a little bit more than what he is right now. Kisper struggled tonight, 0 for 6 from the 3, 1 for 9. The Nuggets, they're just a good defensive team. They're a championship caliber team. So Jokic dominated from start to finish. He got a lot of nice passes to Aaron Gordon, 8 assists. He almost had a triple double. Almost messed around. I got a triple double, and had a lot of nice passes to Aaron Gordon, fast break passes, and he just controlled the game, man. He was just a magician out there. He was quarterback and everything. I mean, he just showed why he's always in the MVP conversation, and why he won, why he led the Nuggets to the championship last year. I mean, this was a statement game from him for sure.
Oh, definitely. I mean, they're a really good team, and like I said, we cover the Wizards and we're Wizards fans, but you give credit where it's due, and they're a fun team to watch. I mean, they realize because they play well together. They know each other and how they play, and just watching them run their offense is and even their defense. I mean, they're just a really good team with good chemistry. So I definitely hope eventually that could be us, man, because chemistry is key. Getting back to Gaff real quick, man. Honestly, a lot of news, and obviously we're gonna talk about it tomorrow, man. But his name is definitely involved with a lot of trade rumors. But I mean, I like Gaff, and his contract is a very team-friendly contract. And I think that if he stays in DC, which I would not be disappointed if he did, but I can see why they would move him because obviously, if you look in the future, man, getting the money off the books, Bagley, he's a free agent after next year. So they're definitely trying to clear the books at the center position going forward. So I get it, man. But, if he stays in DC, I definitely think that eventually he's going to have to come off the bench, man, because he's still very limited offensively. And I mean, if you look at him and Bagley, I think that as a front court tandem, they can be really entertaining to watch. But I mean, Bagley and his offensive repertoire in the paint, man, I think there's more sorely needed on the starting 5 than it is the bench. I mean, his ability to create a shot in the paint, his defense is better than we thought. I mean, the MO with him was not so much he's not a good defender, but effort. But I think in DC, he's shown effort. He's shown a little fire, man. Like so it's gonna be interesting. I mean, I think there's gonna be a lot of moving pieces. A lot of these vets are gonna be gone, and the second half of the year is gonna be dedicated purely towards getting these young guys ready for the future. So I'm excited.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna get to some comments here. We probably only read like one or two. Seriously, we really, 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 really will read the comments tomorrow. We definitely will. But before we do that, we got a quick word from Brandon.
Yes, sir. Tonight's episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. So, what are some things you want to keep sane about yourself or your life in 2024? Are you already crushing it? Think opposite of new year, new you, right? Are there some things you want to change, whether it's physically, mentally, or even spiritually? Well, there's ways to do that, and one of those ways is BetterHelp. Because look, we all need help from time to time, and we all have issues, and sometimes it's best fit to talk to somebody else. So, if you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge, which is key. So all you guys got to do is celebrate the progress you already made because you've already considered BetterHelp. So visit BetterHelp.com/LockedOnNBA today to get 10% off your first month. And that's BetterHelp, HELP.com/LockedOnNBA. And tonight's episode is also brought to you by FanDuel. The NFL regular season is wrapping up, but there's still time to get in on the action with FanDuel, Maker's #1 sportsbook. Because right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. That's $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. So the app is easy to use, and there's so many different ways to bet, like live same-game parlays. Find bets in the new Explore tab. Make a parlay in the Parlay Hub, which is I do. The best way to find popular parlays and more. So all you got to do is visit FanDuel.com/LockedOn and make your first bet a layup. FanDuel, the official partner of the NFL. All right. Let's get into some comments tonight. We got a lot of comments tonight.
All right. Let me see what comment stood out. There's a lot of good comments in here. Jokic getting an MVP chance in Cap 1. I didn't hear that, but
Yeah,
not sure if he did. But I believe it. I believe it for sure. I'm not surprised. I'm really not.
Nah, not a surprise one bit.
I don't know. Lamar Odom. Yeah, we're not going to read this one out loud, but he said keeping this man as a stay. He's talking about West. Keeping West as a stay on Will Dawkins' tenure because he decided to exercise his option. Shake man. Yeah, I mean, we both said that this was a questionable move. I think he might have did it just because he wanted to make West feel comfortable, and maybe Ted might have put a word in because his father's legacy, because of West's dad's legacy, and just to ensure that we get the best pick in the draft or the highest lottery pick, knowing that West that we'll probably lose a lot of games. So it was definitely an interesting decision by Will Dawkins for sure.
Yeah, I mean, very interesting, to say the least, man. I thought that we were going to take this year to evaluate him and then kind of evaluate the head coach position after the season. But I'll say this, man. Yes, Wes Unseld Jr. is, the lack of adjustments, the lineups, the lack of play calls, and the clutch have been issues. Defense being abysmal has been an issue the entire time. But I mean, I know both of us both said that we were wondering what he could do in a rebuild if they can find the pieces to implement in his defensive system. But I mean, we maybe run out of time. This is year 3, and the defense has not been good. And you can't say they don't have defenders because I mean, Denny, high level defender. I mean, DeLon Wright, high level defender. Bilal, pass. I mean, so he's had guys. It's just it's hard. It really is, man. Yeah, it's fun. I'll say this, man. Assistant coach, yes, but I think right now, I don't know if he could be a head coach. I know his name is definitely tied to the franchise. His dad put a lot of service into this franchise, man. But I mean, and I wish him well. I like West, man, but this is not a popularity contest. I mean, you got to perform. And his MO coming over from Denver was what? Defense. Defense has not been better. It's gotten worse year after year. And you don't see any effort from guys. You see guys checking out. You see chemistry issues. You see guys. I mean, it's just so we got to figure this thing out, man. I definitely think that in the offseason they need to take a hard look at head coach. And like I said, very likable guy, man. But a head coach, you've got to perform, man. And is it entirely on West? I'm not gonna say it's entirely on West. I think there's many problems that his team has as far as fit of personnel. And there's a lot of issues, and he's the issues that he has are pieces of the overall issue, but not just on West. But at this point, we tried the whole approach of having an assistant coach trying to make him a head coach. Let's go out here and get a guy with a track record. Let's go out here and get a head coach like the Pistons. I mean, the Pistons aren't struggling because of Monty Williams. You know what I mean? They're struggling in spite of Monty Williams because Monty Williams is a coach who has a proven track record. Let's go out here and get a guy, man, a guy who's going to hold this locker room accountable, man. There's so many attitudes and personalities. You got, as a coach, you've got to be able to juggle them and get the best performance out of these guys. I mean, you should never be checking out, especially as a millionaire, man. You play basketball, you shouldn't be checking out, man. You know, you definitely, so they got to look at head coach, in my opinion. So it is what it is.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's another blown lead against the Spurs. How many blown leads have we seen under West's tenure?
Lord have mercy.
You can just name about 30 of them, honestly, maybe even more than that. So, yeah, West, just the lack of the adjustments, the rotations, defense has been bad. But like you said, too, it's the personnel. And some of it's by design, too. They definitely want to lose games. They definitely want to get the best draft position that they can get. So that's a big part of it. But, yeah, I mean, West, you know, I think next year, he'll be here next year. But it's kind of like the Steven Silas situation with the Rockets where they were losing a bunch of games. And then they moved on from Steven Silas. And then they finally took a swing. And now they're more competitive this year after, 2 to 3 years of being bad. So that's kind of what we're looking at here. It's a rebuilding process. We're going to see how many picks we get back for Kuz. They want 2 first-round picks. I don't think they'll get that. Tyus, we'll see what we get back for him. Daniel Gafford. And then just seeing what they do in the draft this upcoming season. So it's a lot of factors going into it. But, yeah, the personnel, too. Just having Muscala as your backup center and Gallo as your backup center. That, too. We finally have a guy in Bagley who can rebound the ball other than just Gafford. So the roster is a little bit more watchable than what it was before. So it's a lot of factors going into it for sure. But, yeah, somebody brought up David Vanderpool. He's a good candidate as a replacement for next year. Brian Keefe. There's a lot of good candidates out there that could possibly replace Wes Unseld Jr. But unknown ism. We'll probably wrap it up on this one. I'll read my guy, Disu Hoopla, his comment. Excuse me. As well, make sure you guys check out his YouTube channel or their YouTube channel. Both those guys, they've been on our channel before. We've been on theirs as guests. He said, "I am waiting. I'm just waiting. I am just waiting to drive these vets to the airport, fellas."
Dollars. And I already got the car warmed up. I'm just waiting on you, man. Yeah, I'm with you, man. I'm ready. No disrespect to these vets, man, but I'm ready for the true rebuild to happen, man. You know, it's time to see what we got in these young guys, man.
Mm-hmm.
And going back to what you said, E, real quick. Wes Unseld, yeah, I can also see him being here next year because of the whole giving that 4th-year option. But to me, give him the personnel. Let's get more defensive-minded guys, some more shooters in here. I don't want to see anybody not succeed. Anybody, you know, I definitely want to see anybody succeed, man. And definitely, you know, I got to get his names connected to the team. I want to see him succeed, but let's try to give him the personnel, man. And like I said, we got some guys on this team right now who can defend. But you also need guys who can shoot. We need a couple more shooters on here, man. You know, Kispert, he's got to get consistent, you know. So, you know, we'll see how we do as far as what we get back from these trades and go into the offseason and draft and go from there. But hopefully we give him what he needs next year. And then after next year, man, I don't see any, you know, I mean, if he falters next year, then I'm out of excuses. So.
Mm-hmm. Right, yeah, and we've seen him with a better roster last year with Brad and Porzingis and Kuz and a lot of the late game situations where he just has one guy just do ISO, and last year was Bill. Now this year it's Kuzma who's just throwing up, you know, bad shots at the end of the games. But Unknown Ism says tonight's episode is brought to you by losing, as in the Wizards are good at losing on a regular basis. Losing because we don't want to win, keep losing. So we'll end on that note. But there's a lot of comments we want to read for sure. There's a couple comments talking about Kyle Kuzma, about, you know, his trade value that Diablo says Kuzma intentionally sabotaging his trade value. Come on now, he responded to a tweet about being traded. Yeah, he has. He's been struggling as of late. I don't know what it is ever since and trade rumors have been coming out about Kuz for a long time, so it's not like they just started. But now since they really have heated up even more, it's just like he kind of looks like he's not really focused, honestly. Or I hate to say checked out, but he just kind of looks like he's just on a different world right now than his teammates, honestly.
I mean, I don't know if I even, I mean, you kind of knew coming in signing that contract that you were going to
Yeah,
be
you're gonna be
here
traded.
long.
Yeah, so her,
Yeah,
yeah.
you know what I mean. So maybe a little naive, yeah, but
Mm.
you knew that at one point you were going to get moved, man. I mean, it's a rebuilding team, and honestly, none against Kuz, man. I think that he's definitely a guy who's became a better player in DC, became a complete player, yeah. But if Kyle Kuzma is your best player, you're not going to win a championship. And there's no disrespect to Kyle Kuzma as being 100%. On a contending team, he is a third or fourth option. So if Kyle Kuzma is your star, you have no. I mean, and like I said, no disrespect, but you're here for value. So yeah, I never understood that, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. All right, you guys. Yeah, I see somebody talking about the Ravens and whatnot. We're not Ravens fans, but I'll be happy for them since they are in the state of Maryland, and that's all I can do. So, but we're definitely gonna talk more about some stuff tomorrow and read all the comments that we didn't get to for sure. We really will do that this time tomorrow for sure. So we want to thank you guys for listening and making Locked On Wizards your first listen every day. We are free and available wherever you guys get podcasts. Like I said, make sure you guys subscribe, hit that notification bell as well. Hell to the Wizards. Peace.